Israeli Defense Forces announced the recovery of the bodies of 2 hostages inside Gaza. As Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem, there are still 48 hostages living and deceased inside Gaza.
Ilan Weiss's body has been returned to Israel. The name of the other hostage has not yet been released, pending forensic examination. Weiss served as the deputy head of the emergency response team in Kibbutz Be'eri and kidnapped on October 7th. As the IDF continues its assault on the Hamas stronghold in Gaza City, it announced it's suspending midday tactical pauses for humanitarian aid there, calling it a dangerous combat zone. The pauses will continue in other parts of Gaza. On the international front, France, the UK, and Germany began a process on Thursday to reimpose snapback sanctions on Iran because of its nuclear violations. The 3 countries accuse Iran of violating the 2015 nuclear deal. The move starts a 30-day period of negotiations before the sanctions begin, which would affect banking, travel, arms sales, and Iran's ballistic missile program. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio backed the move and urged Iran to resolve the issue. In Yemen, media reports indicate that an Israeli strike on Thursday killed the Houthis' prime minister. A separate attack reportedly targeted at least 10 senior Houthi ministers. The Israeli operation follows weeks of ballistic missile attacks by the Houthis that sent millions of Israelis to bomb shelters. In Jerusalem, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the head of the World Food Program, Cindy McCain.
The idea that Israel has tried to starve the people in Gaza as a tool of war, I firmly and completely reject that.
The IDF announced the construction of more distribution centers inside Gaza.
This is just a part of the humanitarian effort the IDF and Israel are doing in the Gaza Strip. Airdrops, trucks going into different parts of Gaza, and distribution centers. We have said multiple times there's no limit on the amount of aid that can go into Gaza.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Showing you a side of war that others aren't sharing. Gordon?
Yeah, it is a side you're not going to see elsewhere. It seems to be this endless drumbeat that somehow or other Israel is engaged in a genocide. If they wanted to engage in a genocide, they could have done so 2 years ago, but they decided, no, we want to be protecting the civilian population. We want to warn them of upcoming strikes, and now they're wanting to make sure that they have adequate food. They only require that it not go through the hands of Hamas. Hamas will steal the food, sell it to its own population, and in that get enough money to buy more weapons. We shouldn't go along with that. Here's a question for you to think about. How in the world does a tiny country like Yemen get ballistic missiles with cluster bombs? How in the world does that happen? Well, to me, it's quite clear. It's being fueled by Iran. It's being prompted by Iran. And I hope these sanctions go into place, but it's clear they don't respond to sanctions. And at what point in time is there going to be yet another armed conflict? We saw Israel's dominance over their ability to resist airstrikes. You see the U.S. dominance in taking out their nuclear facilities, but they continue to supply the Houthis with ballistic missiles. They continue with their ideology of hate. The crackdown against dissent within their own country is horrific. The executions they're doing regularly, horrific. We need to stand up to this evil, and the evil is based on what they think. And they think it's righteous to eradicate Israel from the map. And guess who's going to be their next target? You and me. And they've said it for decades, that Israel is the little Satan and the United States is the great Satan. I hope we wake up and believe them in time to stop any kind of